Now at 9, keeping pets safe. What Muncie Animal Care and Services says you need to do for your pets in the winter months.
And tensions are high in the Russia and Ukraine dispute. What Western leaders are saying.
A cold night is ahead, but warmer temperatures are on the way this week.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Alex Almanza.
And I'm Tara Konieczny. It's February and the cold weather of winter is upon us. Keeping warm during these few months is key, but for some, it's not just about them keeping themselves warm, but also their animals.
That's right. NewsLink Indiana's Kara Przuchek talked to an animal care expert with more on the story.
During frigid weather, people are able to bundle up and stay inside. Animals do not always have that privilege. Pet owners have to be aware and extra cautious of keeping their pets safe. Ashley Honeycutt from the Muncie Animal Care and Services tells her number one rule.
The biggest thing is to make sure that they have proper insulation if they are an outside dog or you have them outside.
Not all dogs and cats have owners, which puts them at high risk during these temperatures. The question being, how can people help stray and mistreated pets when they spot them during these months?
So if we're open during business hours, they can always call the shelter. We are animal control for Delaware County. There's also a non-emergency line they can call, which is 765-747-4838, anytime, day or night.
According to the Humane Society, most types of dogs need exercise and fresh air to keep them happy. When there's snow on the ground and the temperature is below zero, it can be difficult. Dog owner Lily Bird has accessories to keep her dog warm and happy.
Well, I put this coat on her because it's warm. And then oddly enough, our heaters in our house are on the ground. So she typically likes to lay on them right after she comes in so she can feel the heat.
Keeping pets safe during the winter is important for their well-being and health. Muncie, Kara Przuchek, NewsLink Indiana.
Now, if you see an animal out in the cold, you can call the emergency line at 765-747-4838 to help them find some place to be taken care of. And of course, it's much more important now that the winter weather is starting to hit us.
Right. It's still icy out there today. I was kind of sliding around, and I'm sure for the dogs it's like that too.
Right. Well, NewsLink Indiana weather forecaster Maddie Johnson joins us with the latest forecast. Maddie, what's it going to look like tonight?
Yeah, Alex and Tara, we're expecting a very cold night ahead with temperatures in the single digits. Right now, we're sitting at 20 degrees here in Muncie, 9 degrees in Kokomo, and 16 degrees at this hour in Indianapolis. So it's already getting pretty cold out there. Looking ahead at our radar right now, we are seeing high pressure across the region, and that's going to keep us nice and dry tonight, tomorrow, and into the rest of the week. And coming up in my full forecast, I'm tracking a cold night ahead. We'll talk about those single-digit lows. I'm tracking breezy conditions on Tuesday and continuing to track that dry week ahead.
Thanks, Maddie. 2 Oklahoma residents were arrested on child neglect charges after leaving their children in a running car in the Muncie Walmart parking lot. Investigators discovered the car's exhaust system was malfunctioning while the children, ages 8 and 2, sat inside the vehicle. Police say the carbon monoxide level rose to a dangerous degree, causing both children to become very ill. Police say they were taken to ambulance to IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital and were transferred later to an Indianapolis hospital. The Star Press reports 41-year-old Antonio Kendrell Davis and 26-year-old Brittany Chris Rogers were arrested.
Jury selection began today in the federal hate crimes trial for 3 men who killed Ahmaud Arbery. Government lawyers will try to prove the men chased down and shot the 25-year-old to death because he was black. Gregory and Travis McMichael withdrew their guilty pleas last week. That came after the judge overseeing the case rejected plea deals the men reached with prosecutors over the Arbery's family's objections. The McMichaels and William Roddy Bryan have already been sentenced to life in prison after their convictions in Georgia State Court last year.
Now, today brought a flurry of high-level diplomatic sit-downs as the West is trying to ease tensions with Russia over Ukraine. So, despite Moscow's denials of many planned invasions, Russia has continued to build up its forces near Ukraine's borders and looks to be preparing for a drawn-out conflict. Looking to cool the temperature, the president of France became the first Western leader to sit down with Russian President Vladimir Putin since the standoff over Ukraine began. In the U.S., President Joe Biden welcoming new German Chancellor Olaf Scholz to the White House. The very diplomatic efforts are being conducted with the hope that enough unified pressure on Moscow will force a détente. Four sources say new intelligence shows some Russian officials worry that a full-scale invasion would be costlier and more difficult than originally realized.
Any conflict would be protracted, it would be painful, it would be sadly bloody, and it would be a genuine mistake for Russia to pursue this as a course of action.
Now you can see right there, satellite images provided to CNN show Russia isn't backing down. Instead, they are building up more advanced deployments near Ukraine's border in Belarus and Crimea.
The Beijing Olympic Committee identified 24 new COVID-19 cases among Olympic-related personnel. Of the 24 cases, 11 were found among new airport arrivals and 13 from those already in the closed-loop systems, which separates Olympic athletes, stakeholders, and staff from the public. 12 of the new cases involved athletes or team officials, 5 of which were inside the closed loop. Since the official closed-loop system began on January 23rd, 387 Olympic-related personnel and stakeholders have tested positive for COVID-19, with 154 of the cases involving athletes or team officials. Over 888,000 COVID-19 tests have been conducted inside the closed loop since January 23rd.
Now, the White House's top science advisor, Eric Lander, apologized for talking to his colleagues in a, quote, disrespectful or demeaning way. That came after an internal investigation found evidence of workplace conduct policy violations. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki addressed the issue at a briefing today. Psaki says the White House is content with how it responded to the allegations against Lander.
The President has been crystal clear with all of us about his high expectations of how he and his staff should be creating a respectful work environment. One of the steps we took early on in the administration was to institute a safe and respectful workplace policy across the executive office of the President, something that was done early on. It was because of this policy and this process that when the complaint was filed, a full and thorough investigation was conducted pursuant to that policy.
There is promising news in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, the country is seeing a 7-day average of nearly 292,000 new cases per day. That's a 43% decrease from a week ago. And the Department of Health and Human Services reports hospitalizations are down 19%. With positive COVID numbers decreasing, some governors are announcing plans to roll back school mask mandates. This is a bipartisan group of governors are pushing the White House to issue guidelines to help the country move beyond the pandemic.
I think what governors are sensing is that we need to agree upon a set of metrics when we're going to start to roll back these mitigation steps and give people a light at the end of the tunnel. What is that point when this stuff gets turned off?
Some governors, though, are still trying to keep their mask mandates in schools, causing an uproar. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's mask mandate was denied by a judge on Friday. Now, a temporary restraining order prevents 170 districts from requiring mask and testing.
Asked his attorney for an explanation of how he thinks that they can continue to force masks on my clients, and unless I get a good explanation from their attorney, I'll be filing a request for contempt to have him found in contempt as early as beginning of next week.
The Biden administration is feeling more pressure to address rising violence on airplanes. The CEO of Delta Airlines wants a no-fly list for unruly passengers, but Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says that presents from some challenges.
I think we need to take a look at it. The airlines are often doing their own internal no-fly lists. Some of them have spoken about maybe coordinating on that, and we're looking at these policy recommendations as well.
The existing federal no-fly list is used to prevent terrorism. There is a zero-tolerance policy with the FAA for unruly passenger behavior, which includes penalties like heavy fines and even jail times. Now this morning, Frontier Airlines flights couldn't leave the runway. The Federal Aviation Administration grounded them all, but lifted the stop in the afternoon. Frontier issued a statement saying the airline experienced a technology issue. It claims that issue has been resolved. About 20% of the airline's flight schedule today was canceled. The grounding comes on the same day Frontier and Spirit Airlines announced that they are merging in a deal worth $6.6 billion.
How one company is attracting potential employees after the Great Resignation.
And which U.S. Olympian is planning to retire after the Beijing Games. That's up next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. A source says the U.S. and Japan have reached a deal to cut Trump-era tariffs on steel. The deal would allow a limited amount of Japanese steel to be imported into the U.S. without the current 25% levy. Former President Donald Trump put the tariffs in place in 2018, citing national security concerns. The deal follows an agreement between the U.S. and the European Union to ease Trump-era metal tariffs last year.
Amazon hopes to entice employees with bigger paychecks. The e-commerce and cloud computing giant is more than doubling its maximum base pay in the U.S. from $160,000 to $350,000 per year. According to an internal blog post today, Amazon also said that it will boost its overall compensation ranges for most jobs globally. These changes are in effect for corporate and technology workers. A spokesperson for Amazon wouldn't comment, but confirmed the authenticity of the blog post.
Samsung's newest devices will also feature a new material. The electronics company has incorporated plastic from repurposed fishnets into its products. Samsung will launch its new Galaxy devices on Wednesday. Citing a UN report, the company says 640,000 tons of fishing nets are abandoned and discarded every year, trapping marine life, damaging coral reefs, and sometimes ending up in our food and water sources. Nintendo's Switch video game consoles reached an impressive milestone. The product has surpassed the lifetime sales of the company's Wii console. The Switch has made the company over $100 million. The Japanese company also announced it sold 18.9 million Switches in the 9 months leading up to the end of 2021. The gaming console has only been on the market for 5 years.
And speaking of games, one snowboarder might soon be saying goodbye. Shaun White says that the Beijing Games will be his last Olympics. The 35-year-old said a series of injuries led to his decision to retire from the Games. He's currently taking part in his 5th Olympics. Once dubbed the Flying Tomato because of his flowing red hair, White has won 3 half-pipe Olympic gold medals since his Winter Games debut at Turin in 2006. He's also earned 13 titles at the Winter X Games to become one of snowboarding's most iconic figures. The men's snowboard halfpipe qualification at Beijing 2022 is on Wednesday, with the final run medal event on Thursday.
And Maddie Johnson has what's coming up in this week's weather.
Yeah, Alex and Tara, so temperatures were pretty cold this weekend, but we're getting warmer, and that warmer trend in temperatures continues this week. I'll have more after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer.
Mentor.
Actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. Your current time is 9:17, and I'm Chief Weather Forecaster Maddie Johnson. After a cold weekend, a high of 20 on Saturday and 22 on Sunday, temperatures are finally climbing. 31 degrees here today was our high in Muncie, well below what we saw last Thursday, that high of 52 degrees, feeling quite spring-like, but we're getting closer to our average temperature, and temperatures are expected to climb into this week. Now, taking a look at current temperatures, we're at 20 degrees here in Muncie, 16 in Indianapolis, and 16 as well down south in Bloomington. But when you factor in the wind out there, it feels colder than it actually is, so make sure to bundle up if you're heading out for any Monday evening plans. Currently feels like 10 here in Muncie, 8 degrees the feels like temperature in Fort Wayne, and just 1 degree in Kokomo, so it definitely feels very cold out there this evening. Now, on our radar, we're just seeing some clouds passing through, but we should see decreasing clouds this evening as high pressure continues to dominate across Illinois and Indiana. That high pressure is going to stick around the Midwest this week, leading to dry conditions tonight, tomorrow, and through the midweek. So as we take a look now at our low temperature for tonight, these decreasing clouds are going to bring cold temperatures, a low of 5 degrees. Those winds light out of the south at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And as we head throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures are going to continue climbing. Like I mentioned earlier, we saw that high of 31 degrees yesterday. Today, we saw a high of 31, and tomorrow we're going to see a high of 35 degrees under partly cloudy skies. For your Tuesday, those winds are also going to be pretty breezy out of the south. Southerly winds at about 15 miles an hour, gusting up to 25 miles an hour at times throughout the day tomorrow. And then those breezy conditions are going to continue into Tuesday night. Southwesterly winds of 15 miles an hour. The low tomorrow night will be at freezing, 32 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. So temperature is really not going to move very much from that high Tuesday into Tuesday night. However, though, we are seeing a large probability of above average temperatures here for the central part of the United States from the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook. But here in the Midwest and for much of the Northeast, we're going to be continuing to see below average temperature probabilities, leading to colder temperatures through February 13th through February 17th. And you can see that here on our mid 7-day forecast, we're seeing that warm up this week. 40 degrees are high on Wednesday, 42 on Friday with a slight chance for some rain snow mix before temperatures cool back down, 25 on Sunday and 34 on Monday. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely looking forward to just a little bit of warmth this week.
Oh yeah, especially after all that snow we got. That's going to be great.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Well, up next, we have plenty more to get to. Zach Greer has a sneak peek at local sports.
Thanks, guys. One Ball State team looking to continue their dominance, and another team keeping their win streak alive. Find out who next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Zach Greer with sports. This season, men's volleyball has been on a tear, bringing down ranked opponent after ranked opponent. Just last week, the Cardinals took down the #1 seeded Hawaii in back-to-back matches. They swept the Rainbow Warriors in the first match, then won the next in a 5-set thriller. This was the first time beating the 1 seed since 1995 against UCLA. This past Friday and Saturday, Ball State split with #9 BYU on the road. In the first match, Ball State fell 2-3. It was their first loss on the season after winning 6 straight. On Saturday, the Cardinals claimed victory 3-1 to get back on track. Ball State is currently ranked #10 in the nation, with their next match set for Thursday against #6 Lewis University. Now let's pass things over to women's basketball. The ladies extending their win streak this season to an outstanding 5 games after a victory over Bowling Green this past weekend. The Cardinals, holding tight competition with the Falcons through the entirety of the first quarter, found a more consistent rhythm going into the second, going into halftime with an 11-point lead. Continuing to control the game, the second half was much less of a story, with Ball State finishing with a win 91-80. The Lady Cardinals figuring out what works best since losing Anna Clefane to a season-ending injury earlier in the campaign. Players such as Thelma Dis-Augstadter, Sydney Freeman, and Allie Becky producing double-digit points each game to fill the void. Hoping to improve their overall record to 15-7, Ball State heads to Kent State on Saturday. Now let's take things over to men's basketball. The Cardinals return home tomorrow, facing off against Central Michigan, hoping to build off their upset win over Toledo. After a strong, outstanding performance against the Rockets, Ball State having 6 separate players in double figures, with young freshman Peyton Sparks leading the way with a double-double of 18 points and 11 rebounds. BSU very eager to keep up their solid play and improve their record above 500 at 12-11. The Central Michigan Chippewas desperately playing to turn their season around, currently sitting at 5-14, with almost 6 different players averaging above 10 points per game. The Chippewas need to increase their defensive production in order to stop the rolling Cardinals. Tip-off for this action starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Worthen Arena. Now finally, let's take it all the way out to Beijing. The United States national team making their way to the Olympic Games in search of one thing, a gold medal. After 3 full days of competition, the United States is yet to bring home the gold. The United States have so far won 6 medals, including the dynamic duo of Madison Chalk and Evan Bates, earning silver in ice skating. Along with them to win a medal was snowboarder Julia Marino, who also earned silver respectively. The national team is trying not to go into the books for the longest drought without a gold medal. That belongs to the 1939 United States national team, who didn't win gold for 9 days. And with events like curling and hockey, there's still plenty of time for the team to capture their first gold medal of the 2022 Olympics. And guys, the Olympics is just such a fun time of the year. Do you guys have any favorite sports that you have?
Oh yeah, I really enjoy, the more unique winter sports, so I really like the bobsled. I think it's so entertaining.
Yeah, I find the snowboarding really just mesmerizing. But ask me again during the Summer Olympics, I kind of find jousting really fun. I think we should do like a live fencing joust match.
That'd be really fun.
I'm down with that.
My favorite is curling, probably. I mean, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And then they sweep it up and they get right onto the target. I mean, I think it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thank you so much, Zach.
Right on. After the break, we have our anchor pick stories. That's right up next.
And we'll take one final look at weather. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let
Thank you.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. It's now time for our anchor pick stories.
A photographer in Hawaii says he feels lucky to have captured a beautiful moment in nature last Wednesday. Jacob Vandervelde said he was on the shore near Waimea Bay in Oahu, Hawaii, and he saw water spouting up from a whale's blowhole about 200 yards away, so he decided to take a look. He saw a whale and a dolphin spinning and playing together in the ocean. He says he has never seen anything like it, but he sees it as a sign of hope.
Now, if you're a fan of the snow, take a look at this. It's the latest creation from Freddie Novosil Jr. of Illinois. Every year he designs a snow sculpture in his front yard in Collinsville. This year, it's Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy on their wedding day, and isn't that adorable?
I think we can make that together with all the snow we just got last weekend.
Maybe put one
weekend.
right here. Yeah. Maddie, how's it looking the rest of the week? I think we're getting a warm-up, right?
Yeah, we're definitely getting a warm up this week. 40 degrees on Wednesday, a little bit of a chance for some rain snow mix on Friday, a high of 42 degrees then, and then temperatures go back down 25 on Sunday and 34 on Monday. Not a whole lot of precipitation chances in this forecast, just a lot of intermittent sun and clouds.
Much, Maddie. That'll do it for tonight at NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.